Rave Radio. With rants and raves, you'll be okay. And today is your lucky day. It is rants and raves with Gary.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Rants and Raves. I'm Steph Beckett. This is our post-InfoComm 2026 series in which we chat with a few manufacturers a little bit about what they thought about went on at the show floor and their thoughts and their releases. And joining me for this episode is the one and only Robert Detweiler from Planar. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. I love your shirt.
Yeah, it's nice to get out of InfoComm attire, and this is kind of close.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? It's rave themed. It's perfect. It's beautiful. Thank you so much for supporting us in this way. How was InfoComm for you this year?
InfoComm was fantastic. I think we were constantly busy, and we met with a lot of good partners and customers, and so InfoComm was a hit in our minds.
Yeah, y'all were on the top of everyone's list when I asked about whose booth they liked the best, whose releases they were particularly impressed by. Y'all kept coming up, so congratulations on
That's
that
great.
for sure.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your releases a little bit. You announced obviously the Cobra series, but you announced these two technologies, EverPixel and TruMicro. Over the past few years and over the past few interviews, we've talked about chip on board. We've talked about MIP. You and I have talked about micro LED as well. Where did these two technologies kind of fit into this progression? And what is it that makes them both like a meaningful step forward?
Sure. So, I mean, I think you really have to start with the TruMicro part of it, because what really started off years ago was trying to simplify the manufacturing of a packaged LED. COB being LED dies directly on a module, we were also looking at how we could do similar to SMD, a packaged LED, but in micro LED sizes, and simplify the manufacturing process and reduce the complexity and cost. And so a lot of this started years ago to try to take the technology that we knew already, SMD, and make it micro LED, but refine how it's done so that we could reduce the complexity and put it into mass production. Um, Part of the reason is COB many years ago was very complex, so that you had to have a lot of specialized equipment and a lot of specialized techniques to deal with COB. It's become more mainstream now, and it's here. It's gotten really popular. But I think that because we are able to put this into a MIP package, we're able to really take advantage of some of the inherent benefits of a packaged LED and our manufacturing techniques, and still get to those finest pixel pitches and better quality.
So you kind of touched on this a little bit, but then from an engineering perspective, what problem or problems were you trying to solve with EverPixel and TruMicro?
I mean, I think the first problem was trying to get small enough so we could reduce some of the pixel pitch size. We can see where the market constantly moves forward in reducing that size, increasing resolution. The second point was to have it in a manufacturing process that could be mass scale. And we did some proprietary things to make sure that that happened. So I'm not so sure anybody can quite follow our lead with how small of a die we have in a packaged device. That's the TruMicro aspect. So to tell you that the size, we're at 40 by 20 microns or micrometers. And so it's a very tiny red, green, blue element, the subpixel. And we're putting those into an SMD, if you will, a package, but that is very tiny as well. So we're able to get down to 0.4 pixel pitches. We're not going to offer that today, not yet, but the technology will let us get there. And so we're trying to future proof our ability to keep driving the resolution up or pixel pitch down in a mass producible type technology.
How do these also address things like reliability, viewing angles, color uniformity, and anything else?
Yeah, so because the LED dyes are so tiny, we actually took some time to really reduce a lot of the space that was inside the package. So the LED dyes were mounted a lot closer to the surface of the package. The package itself got a lot smaller in height. The LED dyes were mounted very close to each other, so that you couldn't quite see the separation between red, green, blue. Um, and because of all the reduction in space and the reduction in sizes, we're actually blending the light just a little bit better at the source. And so it doesn't come into your eye separately. It's kind of funny to think that, you know, some of the technology just last year that your eye is actually seeing red as an example, maybe a little bit faster than the green. And so that's where you get some off-axis color shift. When you really push everything very close together, it blends better at the source, at the LED wall. And so your eye is getting both colors or all three colors kind of at the same time. And you're not seeing some of that off axis color shift.
And that's because they're closer to the source,
They're closer to each other. And
closer
so
to
they're
each
just
other.
blending right there in that package just a little bit better. I think what you also asked about uniformity and things like that, because it's in a package as well, because it's in a MIP package, we're able to take advantage of processes like binning that we've done for a very long time. And so if you think about a manufacturer coming off the line with this little pixel, every one of those pixels can be turned on, tested, and it can be moved into different bins. And we can do this over long periods of time, over long or large amounts of quantity. And so our uniformity in the binning can be better as well than say COB, because COB you kind of are limited in its production process and limited in the quantity of wafers and dies that you have going onto a module. And so having it in a packaged MIP gives us some of those benefits of our old techniques of SMD.
Very cool. And it's like kind of in this world of AV and in this world of LED, where a lot of the manufacturers of our industry focus on things like narrower pixel pitches. Your announcement at Infocom seems to focus more on the architecture behind the display, and that is like a trend with you guys. That seems to be constantly what you are focusing on. Why is that where Planar chose and chooses to innovate?
Um, it's interesting because we've been able to do 06 for a long time. We've actually had product at 06, boy, I want to say close to 5 years, maybe longer. So we're just bringing out another 06 in that respect. But the TruMicro, the EverPixel, they're more game changers in terms of where the industry will go or what the LED technology can be in the future. And I say that because the whole market's been trying to shrink everything as much as possible, and we're kind of benefiting from that, but we've also helped lead some of that as well. And this is an example of where we're leading. But the whole market's really trying to shrink, and we'll eventually get to where LCD resolutions are. We're not quite there yet, but we'll eventually get to that pixel density, and that'll be a major thing for the LED market. But one of the things that really set this apart was the EverPixel side as well, and the fact that as we are going through all this engineering to shrink and to change our manufacturing processes and to improve the ability for yields and colors and brightness, we actually found that by shrinking everything, we inherently stumbled across another benefit, and that is we can populate our package, our little pixel here with redundancy built right in. So EverPixel has two reds, two greens, and two blues. And so if there's anything that is an end user benefit, the idea of an end user not seeing when there is a subpixel out is a major step forward. Um, so with the two reds, two greens, two blues, there might be a single one of those reds that extinguishes itself, but the likelihood of both is very low odds.
Can you explain how you put two of each on there in a way that I can understand?
Yeah, I guess it's
That's
really coming
hard.
down to the
That's hard for
size. It's really coming down to the size that because the package was not full, we
Yeah.
could fit two in there. Now
Okay.
electrically they're being addressed as one single pixel or subpixel. So both reds are being addressed together. Um, and both reds are running at half of its brightness. So it's capable of much brighter, but what we're doing is we're actually sending the power to both reds at half so that you're getting full performance all the time. And all the time, both reds are running. But if one extinguishes, is one goes out, then the other one can get the full 100% power, and you're not seeing a difference in the video wall performance. Um, and so it was a matter of us shrinking a lot of things to get to a technology that can be 0.4 pixel pitch, but also discovering that we had extra room. And so that's
Yeah.
why.
So does it recognize, so on the, let's say two reds as the example, when if one were to extinguish, does the other one then recognize it and then immediately go to full brightness since it doesn't
there's
have to be
there's
at
nothing
50%?
that the user has to do. Exactly. The pixel will automatically recognize that one's out, and the power will be distributed to the other one. And it's really because they're ran together electrically. It's kind of a simple mechanism, really.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's easy.
Yeah.
I could do it. No problem. So, for someone who has a very good understanding of LED but isn't quite engineer level, how would you explain that both of these, EverPixel and TruMicro, why these represent more than just another incremental improvement?
Well, I think the biggest thing to an end user is that because of all these things, we're going to continue the resolution trend to be better. The prices are already coming down from where we were a year ago. So we launched this product and the prices did not go higher than where we were with 06. They actually went down from where we were with 06. So I know a lot of people might think that our EverPixel being two of each thing is going to be extremely expensive. That was not the case. Um, so we're still moving the needle down on resolutions or higher on resolution, down on pixel pitch, and we're still moving the price points to be more attainable. What I think the major game changer here is that we're taking away one of the bigger frustrations of seeing pixels that are not represented correctly. So our users are constantly having to manage millions of pixels on a display and choose whether to live with some that might have gone out or some, or replace modules. And so with this new technology, we're going to take away that frustration because again, the odds of two going out actually seeing a red area extinguish is going to be much reduced.
And where are a few applications that you are hoping to see this technology in first?
Mm. Well, I think that we're definitely going to see it in most of our corporate environments, like we do with all of our fine pitch products. But I'm also thinking because of the viewing angles being so much better than anything we've seen before in terms of color shift, we're going to see some avenues where large, wide rooms will really want to take advantage of it. So control rooms or auditoriums or places like that. Um, I can see where the idea of public spaces would actually be used because even though this is a pixel, it's a package, it's not COB. We decided to put a film over it like COB, and so it's protected as well. Um, and so I can see where public spaces would really kind of benefit from the idea that it's protected, but it's also got that redundancy built in. And so the image quality will last so much longer. Um, and then we're testing a few more verticals. We don't quite have final numbers there, but we think that anything that's on camera will probably benefit from this as well.
Amazing. So that's kind of what we can start expecting to see
Mhm.
you guys moving forward over the next year.
Exactly. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Robert, as always, thank you so much for your time. Where can people find more on EverPixel and TruMicro and everything else Planar?
Well, of course, planar.com. Um,
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And it's been a pleasure as always. For all of you who are watching or listening, don't forget to go to ravepubs.com/infocom to see all of Planar's product videos from the show, as well as the other 1,800 plus that we got from the show floor. So make sure to check those out. Again, I'm Steph Beckett, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
thanks,
Rave Radio with Rants and Raves.